time. Today, all of our books are going to be read to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and that day is on January 17th this year. So all of our books are about getting along and being welcoming to each other. Our first one is All Are Welcome by Alexandra Penfold. Pencils sharpened in their case, bells are ringing, let's make haste. School's beginning, dreams to chase, all are welcome here. No matter how you start your day, what you wear when you play, or if you come from far away, all are welcome here. In our classrooms, safe and sound, fears are lost and hope is found. Raise your hand, we'll go around. All are welcome here. Gather now, let's all take part. We'll play music, we'll make art. We'll share stories from the heart. All are welcome here. Time for lunch. What a spread, a dozen different kinds of bread. Pass it round till everyone's fed. All are welcome here. Open doors, rush outside. We'll swing, we will slide, we will have fun side by side. All are welcome here. We're part of a community. Our strength is our diversity, a shelter from adversity. All are welcome here. We will learn from each other. Special talents we'll uncover. There's a big world to discover. All are welcome here. So much to learn, so much to do, and when the busy day is through, can't wait to come back, start anew. All are welcome here. Head home to get some rest and greet tomorrow ready and fresh. Our time together is best. All are welcome here. You have a place here. You have a space here. You are welcome here. And all are welcome here at your library too. We're always happy to see everybody come in to see us at the library. Our next book is My Voice is a Trumpet by Jimmy Allen. Some have a voice as tall as a tree, loud and proud and sways in the breeze. Some have a voice as small as a bee, soft and sweet like kisses of honey. Some have a voice that's patient and wise, with lessons of life told through sparkling eyes. Some have a voice that's sunny and bright, a voice that can echo, light up the night. There's a voice that is silent, but still can be heard, with hands that move to speak every word. Then there's the voice that roars like a lion, a big voice that tells you, always keep trying. We all have voices to hear. My voice is a trumpet, strong and clear. My voice will be loud when I'm not sure I know, to wonder, to learn, and to ask as I go. I will learn to speak up, to show I am strong, to stand for what's right, and to know what feels wrong. voice is a rainbow after the storm, loving, comforting, safe, and warm. I'll use my voice to find joy in others, reminding us all we're sisters and brothers. I'll say no to hate by using this voice and always choose love, a magical choice. Voices are powerful and together they're strong, like the musical notes of a beautiful song. How will you use your voice? Our next book is a nonfiction book, and it's called A Ride to Remember by Sharon Langley. And this is a true story. I love carousels. The horses come in so many colors: black, white, brown, gray, a honey shade of tan, sunny yellow, fire engine red, or even a soft baby blue. But no matter their colors, the horses all go at the same speed as they circle round and round. They start together, they finish together too. Nobody is first and nobody is last. Everyone is equal when you ride a carousel. When I was a very little girl, my family lived in Baltimore. Near our house was an amusement park. It was green and grassy, big and beautiful, bright and shiny. There were rides, games, treats, and cold drinks at Gwynn Oak Amusement Park, and a carousel too. But before I was born, there were no rides or sweets at that park for children like me. Was it because kids didn't have money to buy tickets? I asked Mama. No, it wasn't about money, said Mama. Or was it because they lived too far away from the park? I asked. That wasn't the problem either, said Daddy. Then why? I wondered aloud. It was because of an unfair rule the park had, Daddy explained. The rule said that African Americans couldn't go on any of the rides. Could we go there to have a picnic or fly a kite? I asked. No, we couldn't, said Mama. We wouldn't have been welcome there, said Daddy. That's terrible, I said. Yes, it was, Mama said. It was segregation, keeping people apart because of their race. Treating people differently because of the color of their skin, Daddy added. What about the golden rule, I asked. What about treating other people the way you want to be treated? I guess some people forgot that the golden rule is supposed to include everyone, said Mama. For a long time, black and white kids couldn't do many things together. They couldn't go to the same schools or to the same restaurants and libraries or even sit at the same movies. It was the law. Why didn't somebody do something about those kinds of laws? I asked. They did, said Mama. We did, said Daddy. Many people, both blacks and whites, knew that segregation was unfair and just plain wrong. Some people said, just wait, times will change. But others said, why wait? What's wrong with now? They held protests at restaurants, stores, and movie theaters. They tried to get officials and courts to make new laws to create a better city, a place that would welcome and include all people. By the time I was born, some unfair laws had changed in Baltimore. Kids could go to the same schools and libraries and restaurants, and some movie theaters too, no matter the color of their skin. But the amusement park just wouldn't budge, said Daddy. People who were fed up with segregation made plans to hold a huge protest at the amusement park. They spread the word to churches, synagogues, schools, and other places in the community so that many people could take part in the protest. They invited newspapers and television stations to report on the protest. They told the police chief about their plans so the police could keep the peace. Best of all, they picked a perfect summer day for the big event, a day when people celebrate what's best about America, Mama said. What day do you think they chose? The 4th of July, I said. That's right. A day that stands for freedom, said Mama. Did they have fireworks, I asked. They had something even better. Hundreds of people, black and white, young and old, students, teachers, priests, ministers, and rabbis, all came together on July 4th, 1963, to take part in one of the biggest protests the city ever had, said Daddy. They believed in the golden rule that being fair is the right thing to do, said Mama. First, the protesters went to church to pray, sing freedom songs, and get ready. They spent the morning learning how to be peaceful protesters, how not to use their fists to fight back. Then they climbed onto buses to go to the amusement park. They bought signs and banners and declared their messages of fairness for all. When the protesters reached the park, a crowd of angry faces greeted them, people who didn't want the park to change. They shouted insults at protesters. The protesters just held their signs high and sang freedom songs. We shall overcome. The civil rights anthem filled the air, said Daddy. But when they tried to go into the park to buy tickets, blacks and whites together, the park owners had the protesters arrested, said Mama. So they did what they had been taught to do, to protest peacefully. Some sat on the ground and refused to move. Police officers had to carry them to buses to take them to the police station. Mama and Daddy explained that 300 protesters were arrested that day. Some paid a fine and could go home, but half refused to pay their fines. They chose to spend the night in jail instead. When they went home the next day, they began planning another protest for 2 days later on July 7th. Kids helped too, Mama said. A newspaper reporter even asked 11-year-old Lydia Finney and her Aunt Mabel Grant to go down on a secret protest at the park. They both had light-colored skin. He thought the park ticket taker might not know that they were black. On the morning the second protest, Lydia and her aunt walked up to the ticket booth. They both bought tickets and walked right in. They could have been arrested if anyone found out who they were, but nobody noticed. They stayed for 2 hours and went on some rides, including the carousel. When they left, the protesters weren't there yet, but the reporter was. He interviewed them and wrote about their visit to show what a mistake it is to judge people by the color of their skin. When the protesters arrived for the second protest, police arrived early. Nearly 100 protesters, blacks, whites, who tried to enter the park together. Among the youngest taken to the police station were 3 young white boys who joined the protest with their parents, Tom, John, and Steve Coleman. Photos of the boys and their parents being arrested and put in a police car appeared in the newspapers the next day. Those photos shocked many people, said Mama. Arresting a family for trying to ride a carousel? Ridiculous, I said. Exactly, said Mama. The stories about the protests in newspapers and on television made more people decide that segregation had to go. So many people spoke out against the park, that its owners saw that they needed to change. The park owners agreed to let everyone come to the park, no matter their skin color. All arrest charges against the protesters were dropped too. The first day Gwynn Oak Amusement Park was open to all was August 28, 1963, 1 month before my first birthday. Mama told me that at first she was afraid to take me to the park. Would it be safe? Would we be arrested? But she and Daddy decided it was important for us to be there that first day as a family. On August 28, 1963, we were the first African-American family to walk into Gwynn Oak Amusement Park when it was open to all. No angry faces greeted us, only smiling news reporters and photographers who rushed around us. Daddy said he marched me straight over to the carousel. He helped me into the big smiling horse. He put his arm around me and held my hand so I wouldn't be afraid. Mama stood nearby waving. Photographers jumped into the ride with us. They took photos of Daddy and me because I was the first African-American child to go on a ride that day. Before the carousel started turning, white kids climbed onto the horses beside me. There were big kids that could probably ride by themselves, but one girl's mother asked Daddy to keep an eye on her daughter to make sure she didn't fall off her horse. Daddy was glad to help. He kept watch on all of us kids, keeping all of us safe. The next day, newspapers had stories about my carousel ride. There was my name, Sharon Langley, right in the newspaper. There were photos of Daddy and me and other kids riding with me. It had been a big news day for everyone who was at the amusement park with us. August 28 was also an important day for a man who was trying to end unfair rules everywhere, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. On that very day, Dr. King was at a huge protest in Washington, the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Hundreds of thousands of people joined him to call for an end to segregation everywhere. Dr. King told the crowd about his hopes and dreams that one day black children and white children would live together peacefully in the country, treating each other as brothers and sisters. My carousel ride showed that Dr. King's dream was starting to come true. That was a long time ago. The amusement park isn't there anymore. A big storm destroyed many of the rides, and Gwyn Oak Amusement Park had to close. Now it's a park where families have picnics on sunny afternoons and where the neighborhood kids play ball. On its green grassy field stands a sign to help people remember those who took a stand for justice there. This carousel came through the storm just fine and was moved to Washington, D.C. on the National Mall. It's fitting that it should be there near the monuments that stand for freedom, not far from the Lincoln Memorial, where Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood to give his famous speech during the March on Washington. My name, Sharon Langley, was put on one of the horse's saddles and one of the horseshoes, too. A sign of the carousel's fence tell about my ride to remember on that sunny August day so long ago. Today, big kids, little kids, young kids, old kids, no matter the color of their skin, can ride on any carousel, going round and round on horses painted all the colors of the rainbow. Nobody first and nobody last, everyone equal, having fun together. And you could read more about Sharon Langley on the back of this book if you check it out from the library. How are we doing on time?
I think it's been about almost 20 minutes.
Okay, maybe we'll just do, these are both really short, so I'll just do them quick. Okay. Our next story is a brand new board book that just came in. It's called Unicorn and Horse Are Friends. This is unicorn, and this is horse. Unicorn is a unicorn, and horse is a horse. Unicorn has a sapphire horn and a silver coat and a rainbow mane. Horse has a brown coat, a yellow mane, and no horn. Unicorn eats pink cupcakes. Horse eats hay. Unicorn makes rainbows. Horse makes something else. Unicorn likes to play ring toss. Horse likes to run races. Unicorn and horse are different, and that's okay. Unicorn and horse are friends, and that's even better than pink cupcakes. Our last book is also a new book at our library, and it's Change Things, a children's anthem. And the words are by Amanda Gorman, and the pictures by Lauren Long. I can hear change humming in its loudest, proudest song. I don't fear change coming, and so I sing along. I scream with the skies of red and blue streamers. I dream with the cries of tried and true dreamers. I'm a chant that rises and rings. There is hope where my change sings. Though some don't understand it, those windmills of mysteries, I sing with all the planet and its hills of histories. I hum with 100 hearts, each of us lifting a hand. I use my strengths and my smarts, take a knee to make a stand. I'm bright as the light each day brings. There is love where my change sings. I show others tolerance, though it might take some courage. I don't make a taller fence, but I fight to build a better bridge. I talk not only of disasters, from where and how we came. I also walk our differences to show we are the same. I'm of movement that roars and springs. There's a wave where my change sings. Change sings where? There, inside me, because I'm the change I want to see. As I grow, it grows like seeds. I am just what the world needs. I'm the voice where freedom rings. You're the love your bright heart brings. We are the wave, starting to spring, for we are the change we sing. We're what the world is becoming, and we know it won't be long. We all hear change strumming. Won't you sing along? And that is the end of our story time today. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you again next week. Bye.